The substance was off, too. Harris campaigned, you'll remember, maybe you don't, on a teacher pay raise and a middle-class tax cut, but then found out, to her surprise, that those policies didn't seem to be resonating with Democratic primary voters. So soon she was actively downplaying her own ideas and desperately trying to find a new persona for herself. In other words, and this is the problem, Kamala Harris is a 55-year-old woman who still has no freaking clue who she is or what she actually cares about. That's why she lost, and thank God she did. Quentin James is founder of Collective PAC. He joins us tonight. Quentin, thanks so much for coming on. Explain, if you would, how Kamala Harris losing to Joe Biden among black voters is evidence that America is racist.
Tucker, thanks for having me on. First of all, man, that entire monologue was extremely disrespectful. And let me tell you why. We live in America right now.
She's a politician. I get to disrespect her if I want.
Unfortunately, as a person of color in this country, we have to work twice as hard, get twice as many credentials, only to be able to give it, maybe be given an opportunity to work or play on a field where the goalposts are moved. But if you're rich and white in this country, you can buy things. When you don't have credentials,
right?
You can buy your kids
I went to college. I heard the lecture, but maybe you could answer a really simple question, which is why are black voters supporting Joe Biden over Kamala Harris?
I'm getting to your question, Tucker. Hold on, I'm getting to your question.
Well, then spare me the academic crap. The fact that many black voters in South Carolina
are considering the issue of voting for Joe Biden versus Kamala Harris or Cory Booker or other black candidates, the same way they considered voting for Hillary Clinton over Barack Obama, is racism. It is the fact that black voters would rather put the question mark of what will white voters do? Will white voters be okay with the black candidate? Maybe not. Maybe it's only safe to vote for the white guy. And that is the country we live in, and that is why Kamala Harris was forced out of this campaign, because of institutional racism, the white supremacy that we hear on your show just about every week, Tucker. That is why we are in this moment right now.
I'm sorry. When you're on my set, you're going to have to at least make points that logical people can understand. And I'm going to ask you to explain them. So far, you haven't managed to do that. Let me ask you one more time to explain how is it the fault of conservatives that African-American Democrats supported Joe Biden over Kamala Harris?
I didn't say conservatives. I didn't say conservatives. I said black voters in South Carolina are concerned about what will white votors think at the polls.
How do you know that?
And that in its because what we saw in 2008.
Wait, slow down. You're making the claim. Where's that? Do you have evidence of this?
What we saw in 2008, when white voters said, you know what, we think this Barack Obama guy is serious. Black voters overnight switched their support from Hillary Clinton to Barack Obama.
Hold on. Is there polling?
So the evidence here,
Look, I covered the 2008 campaign. I don't think you
with
did.
White people.
I'm asking for some actual. You want to be treated like a rational adult who understands what he's talking about. I'm doing that, and I'm asking you for evidence to back up what you just said. You said that white voters are afraid to support Kamala Harris because racism. Where's the evidence for that?
I'm sorry, what? White voters are... What I'm saying is...
Black voters, you claim, are afraid to support Kamala Harris.
That was the question.
Where's the evidence?
Why are black voters not supporting Kamala Harris and Cory Booker in this moment? Number one, they haven't voted yet, right? That's number one. But two, what we're seeing is right now with the racists in the White House, the white supremacists in the White House, folks are really concerned about how are white voters going to vote, right? And if I'm going to cast a ballot for somebody, I got to take into consideration what the country is going to do.
But how do you, how do you know this?
Black voters are concerned about white people right now.
I get that this is your little pet theory, but I'm asking, do you have actual evidence? Do you have polling data, for example, to show that it's true?
I just gave you an example of what happened in 2008.
No, 2008 was almost 12 years ago. So let me ask you now.
It's the last time we've had a competitive Democratic primary with black voters.
You have no evidence. There's no evidence in 2008 that happened. There's no poll that showed that. No, there's not. I covered it. You didn't. There's no evidence of that. And I'm just asking,
I was on the campaign. I saw it happen in live.
Are you going to seriously grapple with what happened today, not 12 years ago, that Kamala Harris dropped out? The question is why. And are you one of these people who's satisfied with, it's the racism of white voters?
Here's another fact, Tucker. In 2008, we saw the most diverse Congress elected in U.S. history. What we also saw is that black women congressional candidates, on average, raised $1 million less than white women running for Congress. Why is that? why does a candidate's race still impact how much money they raise?
Well, I don't know.
Why
You have
is it
to ask
okay?
Democratic donors in Hollywood. You know, your analysis is so shallow and dumb. It's hard to believe that you go on TV as an expert on this stuff.
Why are there no black women elected in Congress who are
too
Republicans?
insulting, and like, I don't want to have a conversation about your super shallow racial views.
Okay.
I want to ask like real questions about politics. You don't have answers. I'm afraid this is boring and not getting us anywhere. Thank you, Quentin, for coming on tonight. I appreciate it.